Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to review a new flashlight. This is the Nitecore SRT-3 Defender. This is a really interesting flashlight. It's got a lot of features on it and has a real simple user interface. Okay, how you use the flashlight is super easy to figure out and to demonstrate and stuff. So basically, it's a flashlight with a lot of different features that pretty much anyone can use. You don't have to be really into flashlights to kind of figure out the different modes and stuff. It does have a lot of extra modes that most people won't use, but hey, variety is the spice of life. At least it's there if you do want to use them. If you don't want to use them, you don't have to. So anyway, these lights usually go for around 70 to 80 bucks. Just depends on where you're getting it from. Again, has a lot of features. The coolest thing about this light is the fact that it takes 4 different battery sources, all right? You can use AA batteries in here. You can use 14500 batteries, okay, which is the same size. You can use CR123s, or you can use the rechargeable CR123s. And depending on the battery source, the output does change a little bit, as well as the run times. And we're going to go over that in this review as well. But first thing I want to go over is what you get with it. Here's the box. All right, you can see the advertisement on the front. 550 lumens is the high output, but it should be noted that's with a rechargeable CR123, okay? With just a single AA battery, it's more like 180, and with a regular CR123, it's like the 300 range, 330, 340, something like that. All right, so I saved the accessories to show you guys for review purposes. First thing is we have our little sheath. It's a good quality sheath. Stitching isn't coming apart or anything like that. See, it's a nice fit in here. I do prefer sheaths that have elastic sides. It usually is a little bit of a tighter fit, but honestly, as long as your Velcro is not dirty, it's not going to fall out at all. What I do like about this sheath that you don't see in a lot of other sheaths is the fact that you have a belt loop on the back, which you can fish your belt through, which is very solid. It's stitched, or there's a separate Velcro flap for a quick attachment point. Okay, so if you want to quickly get this on or off the belt, you can do so, or you can actually fish your belt through this part, which is not going to come off. Okay, depending on how permanently you want that on your belt for the day. Any kind of gear that goes on your belt, some people prefer a quick attachment so they can quickly and easily take it on and off, as opposed to fishing it through the belt. You know, obviously some people don't want to have to take their belt off to take the gear off. So just depends on personal preference. But anyway, the sheath is pretty good. Nice D-ring on there. So in case you're interested in that. It does have a pocket clip attached to it. All right, it is removable. As you can see, 2 screws there. It's a low rider clip, which you don't see too often on flashlights. A lot of times the clip is mounted mid-body or something, so you got some flashlight hanging out. But in this case, you have very little flashlight hanging out of the pocket, so a little bit more covert. Not that you need to hide a flashlight, but it is nice to have the clip capability. It does hold in the pocket just fine. Tested it out for a couple hours, but normally, like I said, with flashlights, I'll carry it in the pocket as opposed to clip to the pocket. But of course, the pocket clip also comes in handy for people who attach their flashlights to gear. You can put the entire flashlight through your Molly gear, have it clipped on there. It should be pretty secure. I think this one's marketed or geared a little bit towards law enforcement. And if that's the case, of course, you can put it on your, your LEO bags or whatever. So just depends on what you're using your flashlight for. The lanyard is a good quality lanyard, and you do get a spare tail cap, okay, rubber tail cap, as well as some O-rings. All right, it's very good for accessories. And of course, our paperwork made out of paper. Hardy har har. I know, I'm hilarious. Standard stuff here. Of course, there's all your run times. Actually, I'm going to pause here instead of repeating it. I'm going to pause right here, and you guys can look at those run times. Okay, it's very important to differentiate between the battery source, okay, and the run time, or excuse me, the output, because the box says real big, 550 lumens. You throw a AA battery in there, it's not 550 lumens, all right? So just be aware of those specifics, okay? So, moving on to the fun part, showing you the flashlight and the features and stuff. There's 2 LEDs in here, main LEDs, that XML2 T6, and there's also an XML LED in there, which is on top, and that's a dedicated LED for the blue and red light outputs. Which is interesting. Well, I'll show you that as we go more into the review here. What I do like about this is it's like a full cage style extension, so it goes past the clicky switch on the back. This allows it to tail stand, and very securely. This is a big bonus. I've always push this for different flashlights, this is an important thing for me. I want a tail stand because most of my flashlights are there for emergencies as well as just for daily use whenever I happen to need one. And it's a big deal for me to have them tail stand so I can light up a room without using electricity. Power goes out, I'm grabbing my flashlights, not necessarily candles, all right? So I do like the fact that it tail stands. There's 3 different slots in here. Of course, you can put that lanyard attachment if you wanted to. There is a crenulated bezel. A lot of flashlights have these. The biggest purpose I see it for is when the flashlight's on and facing down. Actually put this in a mode that we could see. There we go. You can see that it's on. Very cool. A lot of people like this because they feel that it's good for breaking glass or breaking faces if you're using it in a defensive situation. Whatever, it's just one of those things. I like them. I always like a crenulated bezel. It sounds cooler than it really is. It's just a couple cutouts, so they're kind of pointy. That's all. But that's what that's for. All right. So let me talk about the battery source real quick and show you how this comes apart. All right. You can see I'm running a regular alkaline AA in here. All right. Here's obviously the base part or the butt part of the flashlight, right? If you want to use a AA or the 14500 rechargeable batteries, you have to keep on this body piece, okay? As you can see here, this literally just keeps the batteries straight, all right? So the terminal's touching and so it doesn't rattle, right? That's what this piece is for. If you remove this piece, then you can use the CR123 or a RCR123, the rechargeables, okay? Obviously, it's gonna make the whole package a much smaller light and you're actually getting more output. The biggest selling point to this flashlight, there's actually 2 things about this flashlight that I love, absolutely love, and those are the selling points for me. The first one is the fact that if I don't have any CR123s around, okay, I can use a standard battery just by throwing this tube on here, all right? So I love that. I think that's very beneficial. I think a lot of you out there, you love the idea of being able to use a simple, easily found battery like a AA, okay? That's huge. Now, besides that, this light, and I'm going to show this in the features, this has the capability of ramping up and down with a continuous light level, okay? This is huge. And I'm going to talk about this in a second, but I just want to briefly point out the 2 selling points for this light for me is the ramping and the fact that I have 2 different battery sources I can use for the same flashlight. Super cool. I'm going to use CR123s in this. If I don't have any left or my rechargeable ones are charging because they're dead or whatever, in an emergency situation, I always have AA's. They're easily found. That's huge, huge for a flashlight, okay? So anyway, let's get into the features. There's a ring here. Okay, you can see the knurling on here for grip. It rotates. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this flashlight is there's no indicator on here as to what the positions are. You have to kind of remember them, and there's a bunch of them. It's not that big of a deal, but it's definitely worth mentioning. There should be a little arrow and maybe some notches or something to indicate visually as to what setting you're in, all right? Kind of a pain because this randomly gets turned when you're fondling the light or putting it in your bag, whatever, and you don't kind of know what mode you're on. But basically, to turn it on, there's a clicky switch in the back, okay? Turn it on, it's constant on. We're gonna go through our different modes. Now, the first mode with the ring all the way counterclockwise, okay, is a beacon. And that's what it does. It gives you maximum output in a beacon fashion, okay? You turn it once clockwise, and now we have SOS. I'm not gonna put my hand in front of it because it's a little bit too bright. All right, so we have an SOS feature. Click it again, and we have a strobing red and blue, okay? This is cool if you're a cop. If you're not a cop, this is a completely useless function. Be careful, because if you stick this out your window at night, that you could get pulled over for impersonating a police officer and be in some serious, serious trouble. All right, so I know it might seem fun to just kind of put that in your dashboard and have cars pull over that are going too slow. And I did not mean to plant that seed in your head, but do not do that. It's ridiculous and stupid, okay? And it'll cause you to get into lots of trouble. So anyway, moving on. Let me know why I even said that. Hold on, I gotta let my camera focus here. All right, anyway, the next feature is a constant blue LED, okay? Now, you will notice there's artifacts in here. It's not a constant beam, or at least a solid, smooth beam, and that's because of the fact that the LED is offset. It's a secondary LED for just these modes. It's not centered to the reflector, so you will have shadowing and artifacts and stuff like that. Not that big of a deal. The blue comes in handy for stains, okay? Just like a UV light, it picks up any kind of blood trails or staining. If you're hunting or, you know, who knows, tracking something, the blue light's gonna be beneficial for that, in case you're wondering why would you use that. Turn again, and we have red. Red, obviously, again, using that same LED that's offset on the side. You're gonna get artifacts, and it's gonna be kind of a crappy beam on this one, but at night, you know, general area, it'll light up red, and the advantage of red is being a little bit easier on the eyes, not quite as easily seen if you're doing something covertly, or again, in hunting situations, you need to, you know, read a map or who knows what, look at your phone. Whatever you're doing, red will help you with that. The next mode, as we turn it, we are now in our standard white LED or main LED, but in extremely low. This is what would be considered a firefly or moonlight mode. It's 0.1 lumens. And the best part of this flashlight, again, is that as you rotate this now, okay, all the other modes have clicked. You can hear it. Very solid, just click, click, click. And you can see the different modes. Beacon, SOS, right? Flashing red and blue. Then just solid blue, solid red. But the next one is where we have our actual flashlight. And again, the biggest selling point is as we turn this, the flashlight literally gets brighter. And it'll click when it's at its turbo mode or highest output. Okay, so again, as I rotate this, you can see there's infinite different levels. As opposed to high, medium, low, whatever, it's just high to low, but you're rotating the ring to get whatever light level you want. This is a continuous ramping. I love this feature, okay? Let me show you with my hand again. From low, which is extremely low, again, 0.1 lumens. Now I'm gonna rotate the flashlight this way, right? So you can see it gets higher and higher. You know, and I can stop at any point I want. And then when I click, it's at its highest point. That's huge. I love that. I love all flashlights that ramp up and down like that, okay? Super smooth, super fluent. Now, the beam is very good quality on this. It's kind of a straight up white. I do prefer more of the natural light, or excuse me, natural white LEDs. This is more of like a medical white. When LED light bulbs first came out, or not LED light bulbs, energy saver light bulbs, when they first hit the market, they were all just straight up like brilliant white, and it gave kind of like a medical field. So that's what this reminds me of. I would prefer more of a slightly off white or maybe a cool white, but no big deal. But the beam is very nice. And then the next setting is the strobe, okay? Whatever setting you put this in, okay, whatever mode, this does have mode memory. All right, so when you click the light off, when you turn it back on, it'll go back to whatever mode it's in. Okay, whatever position that collar is in. So again, the modes, beacon, SOS, flashing blue and red, straight up blue, straight up red, our light that ramps from low all the way up to high, and then strobe. All right, so most times I'll just leave it in the high position and shut it off. So yeah, a little bit confusing in that you don't know what mode it's in at any time. I would like to see that in maybe in future models or different variants on this model. Have some kind of indicator on there to let us know what position it's in. That's pretty much it with this one. Again, the pros, the ramping up and down is awesome. Love that feature. And also the capability of using AA's as well as CR123s and rechargeable CR123s and even 14500s. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Disadvantages, more modes than anyone's going to need or use. It's definitely a gimmicky novelty amount of modes in this one. And again, a negative being the fact that this ring, you're constantly trying to change positions because it gets offset and you don't know where you are. So you have to remember what the modes are. Once you do, it's not that big of a deal because whatever mode you're in, you know how many clicks or how much you have to rotate it to get to whatever mode you're looking for. Big bonus that the tail stands. Price is a little high to me. 70 to 80 bucks for this. I think it should be more like in the 50 to $60 range in comparison to what else is on the market. I mean, at the end of the day, again, how much is it going to cost? How much light? For 70 or 80 bucks, 550 lumens with the rechargeable CR123, not quite the brightest light that's out there for the price. You can definitely get more light for less money if that's what you're looking for in a flashlight. However, a lot of people are going to like this light because of the fact it does have such variety in modes and features, and the ramping puts it over the edge for me. That's why I like this light over some other lights in the market, because of the fact that it ramps up and down. I think it's a very cool feature. I like to see, there's a lot of custom lights out there like this, but I like to see a light that's running on, say, 1XCR123 that puts out 600-700 lumens, and there's no other modes except for, you know, ramping all the way up to all the way down. I think, you know, that there should be, or even a AA flashlight. If you guys know of one, let me know, but I would love to see a single AA flashlight, okay, that's, you know, not too big, just about the, you know, the size of the battery plus the head, that literally just had a ring on it and you would just ramp it up and down. That's it, you know, and maybe it would click off or there'd be a tail clicky to shut it off. That's my, I think, my ideal EDC flashlight. You just turn it on and rotate it to, you know, as bright as it can get to as low as it can get. I think that'd be perfect. But anyway, still a pretty cool light. That's the Nitecore SRT-3. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. I thank you very much for your time as always, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.